Mysterious JG here. You may wonder why Evil Rose is loading. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm doing a little kind of status video daily. Normally when I do anything like a special video or a subscriber special, I'll play anything. Status video, I'll usually play a little bit of Rumble Rose's Double X. Not set up to do that right now. It's been so long since I've posted any new material along those lines. I think anybody who was subscribed to my channel, out of a deep and abiding love for Rumble Rose's Double X, probably less, most of those people are gone. But I still tradition dictates that women in slutty outfits wrestling is the special announcement video backdrop. Instead, I have a special announcement video I need to do. I need to make it quick because I just microwaved some burritos and they're getting cold. But I have to talk about a couple of different topics really quickly, so I'm going to talk about them both relatively quickly and then move along. I actually recorded like almost an hour, maybe even more than an hour's worth of special video yesterday, and found out that the whole thing got screwed up because I was using my desktop, and there's something wrong with the mic jack. I'm back in the States, by the way. I'll be going back to Afghanistan in less than a week. I just got a little time here, during which I'm visiting family, trying to relax. And, out of love for you guys. Certainly I hate it. I hate doing it, but I'm recording some LP stuff while I'm in the States. I got to get to Panzer General eventually. That's one of the things I'm going to discuss. But I'm going to start out by going real quickly to my channel page. There I am. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. This is an icon as a character from the spacebar. 38 views for the most recent spacebar video. That's, by my standards, that's not horrible. It's not great, not horrible. I really enjoy that game, but I don't know. Everybody has different opinions on this. First thing I wanted to talk about was Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11. My most popular LP ever, by a considerable margin. Part of the reason why I got a lot of views on that is because I got plugged on the channel of a more watched LPer. He just kind of linked to he had my video up on his page for a couple of days. So some people who'd been watching his Romance of the Three Kingdoms LPs of different Romance of the Three Kingdoms games found my channel that way, and that was nice. And so I kind of feel like I need to help out somebody else along those same lines, to a much lower extent, because I've got fewer views than this guy did, but who kind of linked to me. But quick, brief overview of Romance of the Three Kingdoms LPs, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11 LPs on YouTube. I believe mine was the first, although it has to happen more or less at the same time as Larry I Hate You's. Larry I Hate You, popular, much-loved Voltron Army figure, but he had an LP of Romance of the Three Kingdoms that he didn't finish. He seems to have more or less stopped LPing, which is sad. His LP was the Rise of Hero scenario, where like every force starts out with one city and there's like a million forces. He had a force made up in large part of created officers, like lots of created officers. Not all, some of them named after LPers, some of them just his own created officers who just kind of seemed like he wanted to have as many officers on the map as possible. So a very different feel for mine. I threw in some created officers, but I kind of scattered them randomly across the map, which meant because of the scenario that I played in mine, where I started out with one city, and Cao Cao started out with like half of China. I was the smallest force on the map, tied with a couple of other forces for smallest, but yeah, I had sort of a different play. The other LP of it that's already out there and completed is Mr. British Gamers. He did something similar to Larry I Hate You. He had played the Rise of Heroes scenario. He gave himself the best city in China and a lot of like basically superpowered created officers. The idea being that he wanted to crush China as quickly as possible. Not criticizing his LP, but it was a different approach. I took I put it on the default difficulty instead of cranking the difficulty, but I put myself in a difficult starting spot. Mr. British Gamer kind of went with the let's see how quickly we can raffle stomp through China, and as a result, he completed his LP, so he has a completed LP you can watch. And if you don't want to watch one as long and involved as mine, well, I don't want to say involved, but if you don't want to watch one that just goes on forever like mine did, he gets his done in far fewer videos, but it's a different kind of LP. He's starting out with kind of a really good, strong force, and none of his enemies are... He's probably on equal footing or better than all the other forces on the map when he starts out, and he just kind of tries to do it quickly. So it's a very different flavor LP, and his is out there. I watched the first few videos of his, but I think that's at least as much of his as he watched of mine. But either way, I'm a character in his LP. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because there's a guy named VMR Calamity. It's a calamity. He's starting an LP of Romance of the Three Kingdoms 11. He asked me if I could be an officer in it. because he says that he's seen some of mine. I accepted. He's doing, it appears to be tied. He's doing 2 simultaneous LPs, so they're both his first LP. He's doing The Sims Medieval, which I really don't have any interest in The Sims personally. And he's doing Ransom 3 Kingdoms 11. He's liked a couple of my videos. That's nice. He liked a Luvia video. Well, what do you know? That's a rare treat. But he's starting an LP of this, and he started one. He was a couple of videos in, like maybe 3 or 4 videos in, I guess. And then he backed out and decided he wanted to invite people to join it. I think it's a smart idea because he's a new LP, or he doesn't have a lot of viewers, because he's brand new. So like, hey, if I clicked on this video right now, I would probably be the first person to view it. He's got 16 views on something he posted. It looks like half a day ago. He's got almost 100 views on the thing that he posted where he first started asking for recruits, so that's good. But he's trying to sort of get his channel off to a start by getting viewer interest immediately by letting them participate. I think that's smart. I believe from viewing the video, you can go view it. You can go view it for yourself. Like I said, or I didn't say this, but as you probably have seen from my video capture window, at the moment he has the most recent comment on my channel page. And considering that I get a channel comment once every month, he will be there on this front page. He will be cycled off of the front page sometime in 2027. But right now, he's there. You can click on him if you want to go. And if anybody who enjoyed my LP of Ransom 3 Kingdoms 11 but didn't get a chance to have an officer in it, to this day, I rarely, while the LP was going on, but it was too late to join, I was getting people asking to join all the time. Now that the LP's over, it's rare, but I still occasionally get somebody who will just personal message me or respond to that very first video and give me their character that they want to be in Ransom 3 Kingdoms 11. And I'm like, now the LP has now been over for months. But and considering how long it took, I believe it's probably been more than a year since I started it. But yeah, so there you go. If you didn't get a chance to be in my LP, or Larry I Hate Yous, which didn't quite finish, or Mr. British Gamers, then you can jump in and be in VMR Calamities. And he's doing something kind of halfway between, well, no, it's not halfway between. It's actually very similar to what I did. He's going, instead of going the path of starting Rise of Heroes and giving himself all the created officers, he's playing as one of the four. He's playing Yellow Turbans. He's playing as, I think it's Liu Yan. It's whichever force has the sworn Peach Garden Brothers in it. He's playing the Yellow Turbans, and he's randomly assigning the officers across the map. So your created officer, he gives you some guidance on this in his recruitment video. But if you don't want to serve the Yellow Turbans, you'd better put Zhang Jiao and those guys as disliked officers, because the Yellow Turbans do have more of the map than anyone else, and he's allowing the computer to randomly place officers, like I didn't mind, meaning that he's going to try and recruit people the same way I did, but you are not going to start out in his force. Anyway, that's that. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Panzer General. Panzer General is a super cool game where you get to take over the world using Nazis. It has music that is not really performing that well on my computer right now. But I need to talk you guys through a decision we've got to make as soon as this game stops lagging. Apparently it's not a good idea to be running this and, I guess, Internet Explorer at the same time, because I used to be able to run this in Cam Studio together. This was always the laggiest part, but it used to be able to handle it. Doesn't really seem to be handling it so well right now. Come on, game. Okay, come on. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. Boba the Vulture has kindly been uploading my videos for me from the Vereinigten Staaten, but I'm over there in the Middle East and can't really do them. But I've been recording them, and I am recording a little bit ahead. As you might recall, we got major victories in Poland, Warsaw, Norway, the Benelux countries, France. Well, no, actually not in France. But as I'm posting this, we haven't completed France yet. So, oops, spoiler alert, we win. Sea Lion is basically the attack on the UK. There is Sea Lion 1940. There is Sea Lion 1943. Somewhere. 42. Where the hell's the other Sea Lion? I can't find a Sea Lion. There is a Sea Lion 43. Alright. Here's the deal, folks. Sea Lion is a trap. It's a trap! If you go to Sea Lion and you lose, your game ends because, well, I'll show you why. But basically, you get a mission debrief out in which it's basically claimed, even though the war is continuing on, the general you were playing as died in action. Mostly because they really don't have a scenario to play out in which Germany invades England and fails at that point, so the game kind of gets stuck and they kill you personally in order to get out of having to come up with what to do next. Although for some reason, if you get a minor victory, you go on to the Western Front campaign that you would have gotten if you didn't invade England at all. Which, as you history buffs may remember, there were no German tanks rolling through England during World War II. So, if you get a major victory in Sea Lion 1940, all of these missions, North Africa, El Alamein, those are gone. In addition to that, you will never get to fight in like Torch and Husky and Anzio, because for some reason in this game, if you eliminate the British, you also eliminate the Americans. Mostly because any scenario that has British troops in it is removed from future playable scenarios. And almost all the scenarios in which there are British troops in the rest of the game, you're fighting the British and the Americans. You know, there's no campaign that takes place solely at Gold Beach or Sword Beach or Juno, in which, you know, the other American beaches are not present. I'm blanking on my names. And that Gold, Sword, and Juno, I think at least one of those was Americans anyway. But, yeah, so if we get a major victory in Sea Lion, we jump straight to, we can't even do the Balkans and Crete campaigns because they have British forces in them. We jump straight to Barbarossa, in which we basically blitz through the Soviet Union. Kiev, Moscow, all of these are the East Front campaigns, as you could probably tell by the name. Sevastopol, Stalingrad, Kharkov, etc. Byelorussia. So yeah, if we get a major victory, we go straight to the Eastern campaign. And in theory, you can even skip Kiev. There's a decision point where you can spend prestige to skip Kiev and do a mission called Early Moscow. I don't think I'm going to do that. Because basically that involves not spending any of your prestige upgrading units, and I much prefer upgrading units. But if we get a major victory in Sea Lion, which is very doable, we go to the Eastern Front. If I get major victories in Barbarossa, Kiev, and Moscow 41, we jump straight to Washington, which is where the Americans and the Germans fight, and it's the final mission of the successful campaign. Final mission of the unsuccessful campaign is either, depending on your path, going to be Berlin East or Berlin, because you're making your last stand. So I want you folks to write in and give me your thoughts on, do we want to take the British out of the war now, or do we want to keep them around so that this LP will go a lot longer if we keep the British in? We can fight them on the Western Front some. That'll be fun. Don't want to set myself up so that we accidentally do not have an opportunity to take out both of our foes, because that way we can't win. Like no matter how successful you are, if you do things a certain way and you haven't eliminated both the British and the Russians by 1943, even if you're winning all your battles, you basically can't go on to take over the world, because the window's passed, and all of the scenarios that are included in the game after that fact are you fighting on the defensive. So, huzzah. So, folks, we got a decision to make. Do we want to take the British out now? Do we want to play this thing out a little bit longer? I'm going to have a Windows 7 laptop soon, so I might be able to play Allied General instead. There's no particular reason to keep this LP going forever. But then you'd have to decide if you really don't want the British to be eliminated, if you want us to come back and get them later on in Sea Lion 43, which is a significantly harder scenario than Sea Lion 40. Not many reasons, not the least of which is the fact that the Americans are now fighting with the British if you try to take them out in 43. But if we have to decide if we want to get a minor victory, we have to decide if we want to then attack the Russians next and let our crappy generic generals who are saying things like, did we fight hard enough for, we failed to defend the base. I mean, we've got our off-screen, Wehrmacht generals who will be fighting the British while we're fighting the Russians. Or vice versa. We have to decide if we want to go to the East Front or the West Front. If we get a minor victory in Sea Lion 1940 and we go to the East Front, we get to fight the Balkans, which is interesting because you get to fight countries like Yugoslavia and Greece that are not it's a chance to attack jobber countries again. Otherwise, for the, sorry, Yugoslavs and Greeks, but for the rest of the game, we're fighting the major military powers now of the UK, the USA, and the Soviet Union, more or less. So that's a decision that we've got to make, folks. And also, it would be a fun chance to go to the Middle East, although I do not believe that map includes Afghanistan. We could blitz through Iraq. That is like a sort of speculative scenario that is part of this game. But I need to wrap this thing up. Bobo is here, and my burritos are now frozen solid. So those are the two big things that I wanted to get a discussion rolling on with you, the viewer at home. And now I want to close DOSBox before I destroy my computer forever. So yeah, those are the two big things I want to let you know about. New LP of Romance 3 Kingdoms 11 by another dude. I have submitted JG Mystery as a character, although I've already warned him I probably will not be able to follow the LP closely because of my circumstances. Decision point ahead in Panzer General. I will not play the game again until I've gotten at least a few comments on which direction we'd like to go. If we receive no comments on it, my default will probably be to end the game quickly because I think I can pick up Allied General and play it next. And I can always keep a save point where I come back to the game later and explore a different path if I really want to. And the big long video I tried to record the other day that crapped out was in part because I was using my desktop and I was exploring the possibilities of screen capturing and recording PS1 and PS2 emulator, which is why I was able to play a little bit of a Final Fantasy game on PS1 to show you guys a potential future LP. I was also able to play a little emulated Romance of the Three Kingdoms 10, just to see whether that was going to be plausible. I spent most of the video. I allowed the computer to pick my guy by answering a questionnaire, and it gave me Joshua as the guy. And as Boba the Vulture pointed out, he seemed like kind of a dick. So yes, folks, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 10 confirmed that I'm a dick and gave me a dick character, but he's a really good dick character. He has a really good dick. No, I mean, he's a really good character who also happens to be an asshole. And I played a little bit with him and recorded, and basically, like, I left my city and I found Sima Yi in the first city I visited, and I tried to recruit him, but it basically, that consisted of spending about a month and a half following Sima Yi everywhere he went and constantly talking to him, while Sima Yi would occasionally say things like, Master Joshua, I didn't expect to see you here. It was kind of goofy. That's the kind of thing you have to look forward to. If I LP Romance of the Three Kingdoms 10, it will consist mostly of me following Sima Yi around, trying to talk to him, and him saying, please leave me alone, I do not wish to talk to you now. And every time that happens, it will consume 1 day of game time. But now, because I am not currently set up to record from my Xbox 360, it might have been possible to set that up. I don't think it would have been convenient. In the tradition of my special videos, we do need to see a little bit of Rumble Roses before we can wrap this thing up. So before I head back to Afghanistan, teary departure from the lovely Verenigtenstatten, let's just enjoy my favorite moment from Rumble Roses XX before we move along. Rumble Roses, I mean. So I have to like listen to my own commentary. This is kind of ridiculous.
But she is a girl. Girls love horses.
Or hell beasts.
Hell beast horses.
See? Great minds think alike.
Yeah. Such a pragmatist. Well, maybe you could help her, Makoto. Be like vice president or something.
Prime Minister of conquering the world. What a beautiful ending to a beautiful story that was. Now that I've recycled my own footage for and watching that, it's like, wow, that LP or A, well, he was really spot on with his commentary. But B, it's just amazing to me that more people aren't watching this video. It's only got 160 views, folks. It was a beautiful ending to a beautiful story, nuanced characters. I don't really know what you people want from Michael and Makoto. Though you've got a butt shot of Makoto here, but and a butt shot of a mutant hell beast. So I don't know what more you want from an LP or a video game. But anyway, folks, that's it for my little special announcement. Sorry I didn't get to do any kind of 700 subscriber special or anything like that. But Bobo and I have recorded some stuff that he can post on my channel, as he basically runs my channel for a while. And when we come back, there'll be all sorts of excitement. Dynasty Warriors 7 will eventually be wrapped up in the fullness of time. Although those assholes didn't release Extreme Legends for Xbox 360, so who knows whether that will ever happen. But yeah, so to check off again the list, go check out this other guy's LP if you want to have an officer in it and support a new LPer. Tell me what you think we should do about Panzer General and those pesky British. And thank you for watching my videos, and I hope you continue to enjoy them. I'll see you around in the future, folks. On behalf of Great Khan and Makoto, you're all ugly goats. Bye-bye.